Hello and welcome. In the previous session, we have learned about the method overriding. In this session, I will talk about the operator overloading. So we have seen that the plus operator and the multiplication operator works differently on the different types of objects. For example, the plus operator can be used to add two numbers, the plus operator can be used to concat two strings, or the plus operator can be used to merge two lists. Look at the example. So here you can see I have declared two number type, integer type of objects, two string type of objects, and two list type of objects. And I'm using the plus operator with every type of objects. Okay, so here when I use the plus operator with the number type of value, number type of object, I'm getting the result as the addition of these two numbers. When I use the plus operator with the string type of objects, I will get the output as the concatenated result. And when we will use the plus operator with the list type of objects, then we will get the new list with the result of these two lists. Here you can see 30 and Python tutorial as the concatenated result and the merge result of these two lists. Okay, so this feature that allows the same operator to show different behavior with the different types of objects or operand is called operator overloading. It is simple as that. So the question is that how is it possible? How is it possible that this operator works differently with the different type of object? This is possible because plus operator is overloaded with the integer type of a class, with the string type of the class, as well as with the list type of the class. Okay, so actually when we write something like a plus b, behind the scene, one special method, or you can say one magic method gets called, which is associated with the plus operator. So actually behind the scene, this statement gets called a dot underscore underscore add. This add is the special and the magic method which is corresponding to the plus operator. Okay, so this is the method, and here the other method gets called, other object we pass here, and this method gets called. So if I write in place of this statement, if I write a dot underscore underscore add underscore underscore and pass the other object, that is the b I want to add, so I will get the same output. Okay, it means that whenever we call the plus with any statement, then the behind the scene, this method gets called, and this is the special method. This is this magic method which is corresponding to the plus operator. Okay, so in Python, whenever we perform any operation and use any operator, the special method gets called. So every operator in Python is corresponding to one special magic method. So here you can see, here is the list. So Python magic function used for operator overloading. So here you can see the plus operator, and the corresponding method is double underscore add double underscore and self and other object that you need to pass over here to perform the addition. Similarly, for the subtraction, the minus operator, we use the magic function underscore underscore sub underscore underscore. Okay, here you can find that if you want to perform and if you want to overload any operator, you need to write these method in your class. Okay. Similarly, for the comparison operator, if you want to compare two objects, then you have to use and you have to overload the operator, and you have to implement these methods, that is underscore underscore LT for the less than operator, underscore underscore GT for the greater than operator. Okay. For the assignment operator, here is the list. Similarly, for the unary operator, the corresponding method for every operator, the list is here. But one thing you have to remember, guys, and that is, just take a note and make a note in your notebook, that is, it is not possible to change the number of operand for an operator. Okay, so you can overload the operator, but you cannot change the behavior of the operators. For example, you cannot overload a unary operator as a binary operator. So now the question is, what will happen when we will use the operators with the user-defined classes? For example, I want to add two user-defined objects. I want to compare two user-defined objects. So suppose I want to add two test type of object. I'm going to define one test type of class here, and I will create two test type of object, and I will perform the addition between those two objects. So let's define first of all. So here is the class test with one attribute, that is A, and we'll create the test type of class that will accept one argument, and we will add these two objects. So let's create two objects of the test type, that is OB1 is equal test, and I'll pass 10 here, and OB2 is equal test, and here is the 20. And I'm going to add these two objects, OB1 plus OB2. Okay, so look at this. So when we will execute this code, we are getting the output as error. So here we can see that it is showing the type error. Why? Because Python doesn't know how to add these two test type of objects. Python knows that how to add two numbers, how to concat two strings, but Python doesn't know how to add test objects. However, we can achieve this task in Python through the operator overloading. And to overload the operators in the Python provides a number of special methods that we have already seen into the chart. So to add test type of object, if you want to add two test type of object, we have to overload plus operator. And for this, we have to implement the add function in the test class. So let's implement and see that what will happen after implementation. So I will add here one method that is corresponding to the plus operator, and here is the other object. Okay. So this self will represent this OB1, and other is OB2. So let's extract the values from every object. So self.a plus other.a. And after adding it, we'll return the result. Let's see. So you can see we are getting the output as 30. So now it is added. Why? Because whenever you will call like this, whenever you will perform OB1 plus OB2, behind the scene, this method will be called automatically. OB1 dot underscore underscore add underscore underscore and OB2. Okay. So this is how we do the operator overloading. So if you want to overload and if you want to perform any task with your defined classes, user defined classes, you need to overload the operator. And for overloading the operator, we have to write the corresponding and we have to implement the corresponding method in the class. So now the conclusion is, if we want to perform the operations like add or comparison or any other operation with the user defined classes, we have to overload that operator, and to overload means we have to implement the corresponding special method in our class. Let's take one more example that, for example, I want to compare two students on the basis of the marks. Okay, and I want to check that which student got the highest marks, either the student 1 or the student 2. So how will I do that? So first of all, I need to create the student type of class here. So I will define the student class, and with the attribute marks, I will take only one attribute. Okay, that is the marks, and I'll create two student type of object here, that is the st1, and here I will write the student, and student 1 got 40 marks, student 2 got, let's suppose, 60 marks. I want to compare that which student got the highest marks. So what will I do? I will write something like, if I will write like st1 is greater than st2, then print the value and print the result as first student got highest marks, else print the result as second student got the highest marks. Okay, so let's run this code. So again, you can see here that we are getting the type error. Why? Because when you will compare two student type of objects, so behind the scene, the GT method will be called. And as you can see that the GT method is not implemented into the student class. So compare the student type of object. Okay, so we have to overload this operator into the student class. And which method is corresponding to this greater than operator? We have already seen into the chart. So accordingly, we will define. So underscore, I will define the GT method here because this is the corresponding to the greater than. Okay. So GT and other object that I want to compare. And here I will write return either true or false for the self for the object number 1 dot marks. Okay. Is greater than other object dot marks. Okay. This is so other dot marks. Now look at the output. So here you can see, okay, my bad. This is the GT, not get. Okay. So here you can see, okay, spelling mistake. Here is the marks. The attribute names should be same, marks and marks. Okay, fine. Now we need to fix it. So marks and marks. Okay, fine. Now here you can see second student got the highest marks. Okay. And now if I change this value to suppose 70, so it will show you the result as the first student got the highest marks. So if you want to compare, if you want to add, if you want to perform any operation onto the user-defined objects, so you need to overload that operator. And overload means you have to implement the corresponding method in your class. Okay, so this is all about the operator overloading. I hope the concept is clear. Still, if you have doubt, you can put your queries into the comment box. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.